Welcome, Ceri, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Louise. What a lovely warm welcome, and I'm delighted to be with you. Thank you so much for inviting me. So hello, all you amazing artists, thought leaders, innovators, provocateurs, producers, change makers and entrepreneurs. I'm so grateful to be with you today and for all that you will experience and endure ahead to improve our lives, to make us perceive ourselves and the world differently. You expand our hearts and minds, help us to experience connection, joy and wonder. And we need you now more than ever. We're living through a paradigm shift in society, culture, the art world and the art market. And they're going through a long overdue transformation. Many contributing players in the art world, from established and emerging artists, galleries, museums, art fairs, shippers, art handlers, insurers, art press and writers, will have to change. This provides you with an opportunity to rip up the rule book and have a creative adventure that suits you and others. It provides you with an opportunity to light our path and lead the way. A gateway for you to create the culture you want to participate in. Use the tools of today to build your own future. Seek not to fit in, but to find spaces, places and people that embrace your difference, help you thrive and change things for the better. Today is the time to take stock of your values, what brings you joy, and to be the change you want to see in the world. As artists and creatives, you have the magic power to affect others. You can choose what you do with your insights, knowledge and talent, how you want to connect, to contribute and communicate, to create, to enable, to participate, to share, to influence. Celebrate your weirdness and wonk. You need it like fuel in the tank. It's your superpower, your special sauce. As artists, you take us to places we cannot get to on our own. You lift us up. Being your authentic self, finding your voice and what you want to say is the most important thing. Finding ways of showing and sharing your work is part of your creative journey, and it's important you take responsibility for what you make and why. How your work enters the world, finds touch points, enthusiasts, champions and kindred spirits. Commit today to stepping out of your comfort zone, throwing yourself into the deep end to discover what you love and hate. Immerse yourself in a myriad of scenarios. Allow yourself to crack your own shell. Be vulnerable, humble, generous, empathize. These are your strengths. Focus on the very next step. Make the right choice for you today. Commit to giving yourself the same level of compassion you would give your best friend or closest family member. Choose to swim in the pool where you can breathe and move freely, where you can switch your technique and speed up or down. Find a team that appreciates your style so that you can all swim together like a school of colourful angelfish. Allow your creativity to guide you to income generating experiences that support your growth. Reach out for what you think you might enjoy or be good at. Follow your curiosity and utilise your creative strengths in new contexts. Seek out different people with different skills, strengths and goals. Maybe you want to try out animation, so supporting an experienced animator might give you hands-on training whilst earning some income to further your practice. Maybe you want to learn about editing, so working with a filmmaker could be a route to some cash while supporting your skills and development. If you find a context you think would be exciting, take the initiative, contact them, tell them why you love what they do and how it aligns with your vision and values. Offer to help them, tell them what you can do for them. I did it for Make, a magazine and library that specialised in the work of women artists. I saw a copy of Make magazine in a bookshop with a gnarling dog trophy on the front cover. I plucked the magazine and read it from cover to cover on the spot. It made me laugh and it set my heart on fire. And somehow I knew it was what I'd been looking for. I asked an elder mentor friend to help me, and together we spent days crafting a letter to the magazine to apply for an internship. It was competitive back then, but this process really helped me to understand what I needed and what I wanted from the experience. I got the gig, working as an intern internally on subscriptions, then membership. With 2 years, I became director of the Women's Art Library. I had no idea that was possible or that it was what I wanted to do until I got stuck in and learned on the job. I had amazing colleagues, friends and mentors that supported me, but I committed 100% to the job. I made mistakes. I had sleepless nights. I rose to every challenge. I achieved an incredible amount until it was time for new adventures, new learning, and for somebody else to pick up the baton. I initially trained as an artist, and I've spent 30 years of my life so far committed to testing boundaries and supporting artists developing their work, reaching their potential and discovering new audiences. I've taken spectacular risks and worked at breakneck speed to make challenging creations in ridiculous settings. I've created new jobs for artists, curators, educators, young people and creative entrepreneurs. I've attracted hundreds of thousands of pounds in public and private funding to make the impossible possible. I've connected performance artists with keen patrons, convinced worried publishers to print crazy content, and policemen to fall in love with conceptual art. I've tried, failed, bounced back, surprised myself and others, failed again, and I've loved every minute of it. I've lived through every aspect of the creative journey, from the ignition moment right through to audience engagement. I have seen the powerful transformative impact of thought-provoking, heart-wrenching content, stirring emotions, reaching inner worlds and changing people forever. We're all responsible for clearing a route through a sea of nonsense. You can shape your reality and enable others to see, feel and think more keenly, more purposefully. You are magical. In our personal lives, we hopefully choose friends that are smarter, funnier, more extroverted than us, that come from different backgrounds and that challenge us, counsel us or help care for us and repair us when we feel crushed. Apply the same rules to your creative careers. Find inspiring people from different cultures and backgrounds to take you to new heights, to check your burgeoning ideas, to educate you, challenge you and your beliefs, to become better artists and humans. Ask for regular feedback publicly. It's useful data gathering, a litmus test. They are just opinions. Observe and consider others' thoughts, but do not let them puncture holes in your boat. They cannot sink you. We need other creative people lifting us up, to resist or object with. If we want people to be enriched through our creative work, we must ensure to continue to learn, to extend ourselves, to allow ourselves to tread our own path to lead deeper, richer lives. We need to meet, engage and exchange with new people, fueled by different ideas, values and tastes, who are not wedded to the dominant white elite version of culture. We need to align with people who care about the planet, who see and reveal injustice, that embody the knowledge of their elders, who are resonant and vibrate resistance, that invest in others as much as themselves. We cannot rely on others to come and get us out of this hole. You brilliant artists are creative thought leaders, intellectual athletes, risk-taking revolutionaries, and this is a rally cry to pave a new way for yourself and for others. But firstly, the most important factor is you're compelled to make work and to find a way to make it consistently and make a lot of it, and you remain committed to your vision. It's called a creative practice because the more you do it, the better you get. And you'll get better at articulating your line of inquiry, your core drivers, and editing the wheat from the chaff. Every element of being an artist involves commitment and work. There are no easy shortcuts or guarantees, but there are lots of things and resources and people that can help, so don't struggle alone. If you can't find what you're looking for, extend your search, your reach, your goalposts, build it, make alignments, you'll get further together. Commit to making lots of work, sharing and showing your work regularly. Show it in your house, do a swap with a friend in another city, curate something online. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for validation. You already know in your heart what you need and what you think the world needs. Find a way to show us, share with us. Keep it simple. It doesn't need to be massive to make an impact. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be deeply considered, to say something, to shift perspectives, to make people think, feel, to understand something in their bodies. This means you must be honest about what you care about, what you stand for, what you want to say, what you want to tell us. Be real, don't hide. Show up, back yourself, and be kind to yourself and others. Work on yourself as much as you work on the work. Our thoughts and behaviours can change. We can train ourselves to do incredible things, and you are capable of so much more than you know yet. It's one hell of a ride, so buckle up and let's have some fun. So I know time is tight, but I'm going to whiz through some things that I would call your swag bag. So this is how you can prepare for your future right now. Get these things nailed as soon as possible to help attract the opportunities and reach your goals. Number 1, values. What are your values? Make a list of the things that you care about. Start with 5 and whittle them down to 3. Then check your work and titles and medium, the production and dissemination methods, and see if your contribution is really speaking to those values. And if not, make a list of 3 things you can do to lean into your values more. These values are going to serve you well throughout life. What does success look like for you? Number 2, list a few key things you want to experience in your life, no matter how big or small, and that will help you to know what you're aiming for, your North Star, whether it's an in real life exhibition, digital, whether you want to produce a book, make an outdoor sculpture, or sell your work to Beyonce. Be honest, list your heart's desire so you can work towards it. Visualizing your goals makes them more tangible and attainable. And be honest, will your health, your personality, your schedule, your commitments, your finances, your skills, your knowledge, your lifestyle afford you the time and enable you to commit to these priorities? What changes can you make to get closer to those goals? Write a list of 3 realistic, practical things you can do to reach those goals. And nobody's perfect. Everybody needs support. So who could you ask or enlist to help? Can you swap services or work with somebody to get the job done in a set time frame? Number 3, update your CV. What do you excel at? What comes naturally to you? Or what have you spent extra time learning or training at? What do you bring to the table? What are your core strengths? And how have you made an impact in previous roles? It doesn't matter whether it was an internship or whether it was stacking shelves in a supermarket. If you've made a difference, then we want to know about it. So let us know if you've self-initiated any projects, exhibitions, events, or networks. Make that clear. And what hobbies or enthusiasms you have that reveal something extra about yourself that would make somebody curious. Ensure that every role listed summarises your key achievements in those roles, not just the duties. Evidence your values, your USP. Aim for difference and shine. Number 4, update your artist statement. A good short statement should be fresh, dynamic, unusual, and clearly paint a visual picture of the ideas, media, methods, and things you draw on, and any reoccurring obsessions that feature in your work. It should pinpoint what it is that makes your work uniquely you. If your statement is too vague, boring, or like everybody else, it will affect how people read your work. Don't be generic. We should get a feel for what experience you've been through that contributes to the way you see the world and the impact that your work would have on us if we saw it. The statement should reveal something about you, your motivations, your sources and inspirations, and something particular to you in your work. Using visually rich language to paint a narrative. Tell us some golden nuggets that we wouldn't know from looking at the work itself. Unpack the risks you've taken in the work, the references that might pull us into your world. Aim for interesting rather than intelligent. Sounding like an academic is not the aim. Instead, let your imagination shine through. Just be yourself, be authentic and honest. Reveal how curious you are. Most people would rather read something quirky and surprising than something that sounds academic, professional, or correct. There's no right or wrong way of doing them, but it must be true to you, that you're comfortable with in your style, as it's going to get distributed and appear in places without you being present. So it should be compelling images that accompany it, reflecting what you're saying in your statement. Next, document your work professionally. Investing in documenting your work is a priority. This is your lifeblood and will secure you work, residencies, exhibitions and sales. Don't fudge it. You will not get your heart's desires without these images. There's no excuse. If you've spent months making something, see the commitment through to the end. Be the best custodian of your work. Finish what you started and show it off in the best possible light. If you need to club together with friends and find a corner of a studio, paint it white, hire a photographer and help each other like a well-oiled machine moving works into position. Do it regularly throughout your career and ensure every image has a title, date, medium, size, photo credit. Keep an online record, use a database. It will make it simpler for making applications or responding to inquiries in future. Next up, connect. Find 10 new people that you think share your values and connect with them. Make a list of artists, curators, peers, anybody in the art, tech, music world that you know and respect. If they've supported you or invested you or given you opportunities in the past, these are your champions. Reach out to new people and maintain relationships by sending a bespoke email, comment or DM. Give them positive feedback. Share the love. Recognize, thank, give them a flattering rationale as to why you think what they do is amazing. Be sincere and authentic. Before you ask for anything, whether it's advice, dialogue, opportunities or recommendations, let them know what they mean to you. Select images, links and works that speak to the character of that person and really think carefully about what you send them. Don't transmit or broadcast yourself at people. Really try to engage and make a habit of inviting people virtually if need be into your studio. Aim for a minimum of 1 a month. Find and create a circle of trust to provide feedback and create opportunities together. Champions are so vital for making your career sustainable. Maintain existing relationships and build new relationships daily, weekly, monthly. Reward your supporters, whether it's with studio visits, freebies, invitations. If need be, get a mentor or a coach. They can help you navigate your journey and help you reach your goals more quickly. They believe in you, they lift you up too. Website. Make it easy for people to get to know you. Your website does the heavy lifting for you. Educate and engage people in your work and your story, and reflect your values and vision through amazing images. Put your best work on the home page. Your website is the very best reflection of you. It's important that only the best will do. Make the scale consistent for the images and select the best work from each series. It's not an archive. It's actually, that could be represented in PDFs or tailored for the people that you're responding to. The website is really your best showcase. Speak as if you're speaking to just one person at a time. So if you're part of a wider artist network, make it clear what it is and what your role is, if that's of interest. And clarify the customer journey. So any calls to action, whether it's join my newsletter for studio visits, discovery calls, price lists. If you're sending a newsletter, build that community of champions. It's great for feedback, support and sales, and create video content of your work. Coming up to the end, social media. If you find social media challenging, my best advice is to create an editorial calendar using a system that works for you, like Hootsuite or Later, where you can limit the time you're on social media, but really make it work for you. Post regularly, reflect your values, ensure you have an occasional release of a new work in a series, great examples of your work over the last number of years, and keep a consistent flavour or style. Reveal your interests, your inner worlds, your networks, your contacts, your achievements, and your international reach eventually. Making a list of all of the people that you would like to have in your circle of influence. Follow them, comment, give them positive feedback. Add those people to your line of inquiry. Text. Get into the habit of writing notes on your work towards 150, 200 words so that you can constantly refer back to what you were thinking about at the time of making, but also the kind of challenges that come up for you in your work. It will help you when it comes to flexing and talking about your work. So don't write again for other people or the invisible art world, but thinking about journaling and actually taking notes so it becomes second nature and it's a muscle that you can keep flexing over the years. And keep in mind what you've learned on your life's journey. That's the thing that's going to make it bespoke to you. Your work is your journey. Stop looking over your shoulder. Only you know what you want to say, and only you know what materials are right in order to say that. And last but not least, if your ambitions or your current situation feels challenging, who can you get to support you? If you hate your job and you're worried you may not get another one, who can you speak to that might have a different perspective? Be flexible and adaptable. Do you have to work on a massive scale in an expensive medium with a huge production? Ask yourself, what would I do if this was simple? Can you get to know other people who've taken similar risks, who may offer or support or mentor you or help to find a manageable path? Can you test the market or thirst for your ideas before you throw everything at it? Can you test your new strategy in a phased approach? Consider your systems and processes. Again, keeping it simple. Get a database from early doors. I really regret not having done this, having known thousands of people over a 30-year career. Keep data on your champions, keep data on sales and inventory. Journal, download your brain so you can think more clearly. Write those notes on completed works. Please look after your health and well-being. This is a system that everything else depends on. Whether it's gym, walking, yoga, running, schedule it. Put it into every day like it's the most important thing. Your work is going to be better for it. So ask yourself finally, what kind of work does the world need right now? What kind of work can you make with the resources you have available to you now? What's the simplest way of getting it into the world? Who can help and how? A creative life is like a box of quality streets. Sometimes you must eat a coffee or strawberry ones, but occasionally you hit the purple and it's worth the wait. Occasionally, you'll need to go into sleep mode, but fear not, you'll restart, reboot, and new ideas, opportunities, and adventures will unfold. Keep searching, keep the faith. Be bold, brave, and brilliant. You are wonderful, and the world needs you. Shoot for the moon, but don't use up all the Earth's resources to get there. Thank you for your bravery and conviction.